Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. He's Drew Martin. I'm Peter Loshak. Today is Monday, June 26th, and this, of course, is the regular show that Drew Martin and I do, where we preview the upcoming series in MLB, and, of course, I also update my record. Drew Martin, as you know, I was down, then I started to climb back up. I went 6-1, I believe, on a Thursday, and then I had a slightly winning Friday as well. And then I got a little bit like, I don't know what the word is, hopeful, arrogant, whatever I said. I'm going to tweet out picks on the weekend and add them to my record. Tweeted out 3 picks. All 3 of them lost 3.5 units from that. So, yeah. Overall, my record is down, but nothing that one winning week can't take care of. Right, Drew Martin?
Yeah, you just got to have self-restraint, yes. Pete.
Exactly.
If you're not feeling it, don't force it.
Exactly. That's true. That's true in all areas of betting. And actually, tonight I only have 1 pick. It's the Dodgers -1, kind of an easy, obvious play. Hopefully that'll cash. And if that cashes, I'll only be down 9 units. All right, Drew Martin, let's get to some of the interesting series that will be coming up this week, what might provide value, betting value one way or the other that I might be able to use to get more out of my debt. The first one that's interesting, KC at Detroit, the Royals and the Tigers. And this, of course, is interesting because a bunch of people were sort of like hip to KC being a team that might start to do well over the past few weeks. I believe you were one of them. I think Ian Cameron was another one of them. And they have been the single most profitable team in June. Plus 42% ROI in June for KC. Very, very nicely done. That puts them at #1 in baseball in June. So their next series on the road against Detroit. Detroit minus 26% in June. Detroit, of course, with a terrible bullpen. What do you think? Do you think it can continue for KC here?
Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons I thought they would get better is because their bullpen started off so bad. And so, positive regression to become a better bullpen for KC. And then Detroit, they haven't been good at all lately. They're down over 20%?
Minus 26% in June, and they continue to have one of the worst bullpens in baseball over the full year, last 2 weeks, last 30 days. However you look at it, Detroit has one of the worst pens in baseball.
Yeah, and Pete, when the opening lines are coming out right now on SBR odds, and it looks like Heritage and Bet Online, both minus 162 tomorrow on the Detroit Tigers, with Verlander on the hill. So I know his velocity has been there, but I kind of like KC on the road at a big plus price.
I mean, this is the issue with this series, Drew Martin. When you look at KC's results in June, you think, oh, they're great. But if you look at the starting matchups, starting pitching matchups, it's kind of uninspiring, right? First, you got Stram going against Verlander. Then tomorrow you have, on Wednesday you have Kennedy, which is, he is very, very uninspiring as far as a bet. And then on Thursday, it's Junis, who's been very vulnerable, but showing flashes, but still vulnerable, going up against Fulmer, who's been better recently. So the starting pitching isn't too confidence building here for betting.
Big advantage for Detroit on the starting pitchers wise. But I doubt I'll be involved, especially if the Wednesday and Thursday prices are anywhere near what Verlander's commanding. So I'll probably be watching this series from the sidelines.
All right, I'm still not sure what I think about this one. Maybe KC on second half bets, Drew Martin. What do you think about that? You get the bullpen edge. You get out of the starting pitching discrepancies there.
Yeah, you got to teach me and the listeners a little bit more about this second half.
Second half betting. You can you don't want to overdo it, but in certain situations, this KC series, it might be a good bet to take KC on the second half in all 3 games. All right, then the next one that's interesting is Texas and Cleveland. Now, Drew Martin, I don't know if you have an answer for this one, but Cleveland just horrific. They're not a bad team, but they're absolutely horrific at home. Minus 32% ROI at home, and that is dead last in the majors. And their last series, they were going up against Minnesota, and I was looking at that series, and I was thinking, man, there's a lot of reasons to like Cleveland, a lot of reasons to love Cleveland, a lot of nice names in their lineup, Kluber starting and blah, blah, but I said to myself, you know what? They're so bad at home, I just can't touch them, and they got swept, Drew Martin.
Yeah, it's been pretty ridiculous. Although they are 13-3 against the West.
Okay, great.
Not that
good
that's
for them. You know what I'm saying?
But hey, their bullpen, Pete, second in baseball. So
Cleveland,
could it be another? Could it be another second half team for you?
I don't know. Possibly, but I mean, the problem with Cleveland, it's just something team wide at home. Texas has a positive ROI on the road. Texas also #2 in baseball in June, second to KC.
Yeah, they've been money in June. You're right.
Plus 31% ROI in June, #2. And so I don't know. I think the big question here is, what do you, when you see a team like Cleveland, is there something fundamental to their home struggle, something psychological? Do you expect them to continue? Because in the last series, I sort of assumed that. Turned out to be absolutely correct. Going forward, do we continue to assume that?
I haven't been able to find something that says it will continue. It might just be the variance happening at the time that it's happening. So no, I wouldn't look to see it continuing unless you know of something I don't.
No, I mean it's basically an educated guess as to whether things like that are obviously psychological in nature, if they are real, are fundamental. I'll tell you one thing though, I did have a good read on Ross getting crushed in his last game against Toronto, and he's starting on Tuesday on the road against Clevenger. So
what was it?
I'm sorry.
Did you find? You said you found something on Ross?
No. I'm saying I don't believe. I believe that he's not ready for prime time.
Okay. Yeah.
And so if there is a game to bet to sort of circle to bet on Cleveland, maybe it's the game on Tuesday. Ross against Clevenger. Clevenger is kind of up and down, but Ross another guy who I think might get hit. All right. Now let's move on to one other series I want to ask you about. Let's go to the Minnesota series. Again, Minnesota, the team that swept Cleveland in their last series, the Twins against the Red Sox, and that puts Minnesota now at plus 60% on the road on the year. ROI, #1 in baseball by a mile. They've been positive in June. Boston, though, been profitable at home, plus 5% ROI at home. Again, this is the other side of that coin. What's the deal with Minnesota? Is there something about them that is just fundamentally undervalued in a major way on the road?
I haven't been able to figure that part out.
Right.
I will say, starting pitchers wise, especially tonight, Berrios on the hill commanding $2 against Chris Sale at home from the left side. I don't think he's that great of a fit there in Fenway.
I mean,
I'm not laying $2. I'll tell you that with Chris Sale.
No, that's not the question. The question: are you taking $2 with Berrios?
Yeah,
you are really. Okay. That's the hard one,
I am, but
it's easy to say I'm not betting something. Welcome to the rest of the world. The question is, what are you betting?
Yeah, I like Berrios. I've liked him since the beginning of the season. I actually liked him last year. Lost a couple units on him, but for whatever reason, he came back this season, got his head straight, keeps the ball down, throws hard like we know, and Puerto Rican guy that throws hard, keeps the ball down. I'm betting on him.
So you are betting on him? Yes.
Yeah,
plus $200. Unreal.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
The series price, though, them getting plus 190, I'm not touching, not against
Minnesota.
Boston.
I don't know. I mean, the starting pitching matchups do not, except for tonight. On Tuesday, Santiago, he had a shoulder strain, but he's coming back. He was getting hit before he went on the DL. Then Mejia, another lefty who's very, very shaky and hittable. And then on Thursday, it's Gibson, a righty, but also very shaky. So 3 very shaky starting pitchers for Minnesota. We'll see if their road magic keeps up in those 3 games. I have to assume that it won't, but maybe it will. Who the hell knows? All right, Drew Martin, there's 3 other series that I do want to bring up that are interesting to me. Before we get to that, is there any series that you'd like to bring up?
Let's see. Yankees, Chicago White Sox.
Okay.
All right. I know the Yankees hat and all, Pete Loshak, but I believe that they're going to be taking money. I mean, the Chicago White Sox, I lost with them this weekend. I just think that their lineup is just – I can't believe that – it's as bad as it is. But Yankees 2-10 their last 12. Ellsbury out with a concussion. Pineda, we know he's kind of been underperforming. So it's interesting to see what the market's going to do. I believe that the Yankees are still going to take money, even though that they're really haven't been playing that well. But
some other injuries as well. Aaron Hicks is out. He's on the DL. Starlin Castro is day-to-day, but I think he'll probably be out for a few days. Maybe not. We'll see. But so there's more injuries. Yeah, the Yankees are a little bit banged up right now.
Yeah, but still can't deny. I mean, Judge is ripping it. So he's commanding a lot of attention. And I would get on the Yankees earlier.
Really?
As far as, when opening numbers come out, I would bet on the Yankees and then maybe look to jump off of them later in the betting day or the following day. So that's why it's good to have a couple books, get in on that opening line, and then you can jump off on another book.
Well, maybe especially on the Tuesday game where Severino's starting. Of course, the White Sox are notably bad against righties. Severino is a notably excellent righty most of the time, so that might be a good spot to take the Yankees. All right, the next series that I want to bring up, let's see. All right, here we go. St. Louis against Arizona, the Cardinals and the Diamondbacks. Arizona, of course, the top team in baseball in terms of ROI. They won 2 out of 3 against Philly. They didn't sweep the first 3 games. We'll see how they do this afternoon, but they're still plus 30% at home ROI. And St. Louis, a lot of issues, minus 15% ROI on the road. Arizona plus 31% ROI in June. St. Louis minus 28% ROI in June. So looks like a big edge here for Arizona. But again, we saw in the Philly series, a lot of huge lines for Arizona, and they didn't quite win in the ways that you would want a team like that to win. One game they lost, another game they barely squeaked out in extra innings. So they didn't quite dominate against Philly, and I'm sure we're going to see a similar huge home favorite lines for Arizona in this series, right?
Actually, when you look at the lines just for tomorrow, it looks like Martinez versus Walker. Walker's only commanded -109 right now at Heritage, so it might not be as big as we think because we know the Cardinals are command some money at times, and Martinez is a big name, but. No, I'd be looking to bet on Arizona at home. I know that they've had some struggles of late. I just think that they're a better team. As we know, the big three in the NL West, I'm not looking to jump off of that train and just keep backing them.
Right. Okay. And, yeah, maybe Wainwright against Godley on Wednesday might be the best one because Wainwright, of course, has been great for relative to his skill set, but he's clearly declining, and Godley has been excellent. But again, because of the name Wainwright, you're going to get probably a similar line to what you're seeing on Tuesday. All right, next series interesting. Maybe value in this one. Drew Martin, Seattle, Philly. Philly on the road at Seattle. The Phillies at the Mariners. And this one, maybe I'll just take Seattle every game and eat up a bunch of units that way. Philly is -40% on the road, despite the fact they did just win one game on the road against the Diamondbacks. And Seattle, a strong team, +15% ROI at home, +15% ROI in June. Philly, of course, we know, bad all around, and it's just a 2-game series here. But will Seattle be a good bet in both these games?
Absolutely, I think so. Fade Philly. They're having to travel from Arizona to Seattle on the West Coast, far from home. They got Paxton going tomorrow night. Yeah, I'm all over Seattle in this one.
And then Felix against Leiter in the next game. So maybe just easy to bet, easy peasy. Bet Seattle on both of those games, and I'll eat up 2 nice units out of my debt there. And then the last series, want to talk about another interesting one: Colorado at San Francisco. Now, Colorado, of course, dominant in the majors, +21% overall. ROI, that is #1 in the majors, and San Francisco dead last, -30% overall, dead last. I knew the Mets were going to be a good bet against them, right, when San Francisco had to travel all the way back. So I was on the Mets in that series. This one, though, I don't know exactly what to think here. Colorado might struggle a little bit here on the road in San Francisco. I mean, obviously, Colorado great on the road, great overall. San Francisco terrible overall, terrible over at home. But do you think that maybe this might be a little trappy?
Colorado's lost 5 straight, right?
Yes, they've been slumping a little bit recently, for sure.
So it's almost, are you catching a falling knife here with Colorado? But on the road, they have been good overall. And to put it in perspective, San Francisco's lost like 9 out of 10, right?
Yeah, I mean, San Francisco's been terrible, but Colorado's lineup, to me, looks like it's really stalled out over the past, 2 weeks, maybe even 30 days. And I need to look into a little bit more what's going on here. This might be a situation where San Francisco might actually steal one of these games.
Yeah,
as a dog.
We got Samardzija going tonight. I mean, he's been better than the market has thought he's been to this point in the season.
Right.
So tonight might be the night if you're looking to go against Colorado and seeing them make it 6 straight.
Tonight or Wednesday. The Tuesday game's a little bit iffy because Kane has been terrible. He could get a break at home, but he's been terrible. On the other side is Hoffman, who I think we both agree is good. He got crushed his last start and might be due for a bounce back here. But then on Wednesday, Senzatella against Block. Senzatella's absolutely been getting crushed, and Block's been getting hit as well. But again, this might be a situation where there's a big home dog line for San Francisco, a wash with the starting pitching, and then Colorado just being given too big of an edge that they don't deserve.
I agree, Pete. Senzatella against NL West teams, definitely looking to fade. He's only got 2 pitches, so they've seen him a lot. They know what's coming. Look to fade on Senzatella.
All right. Any other final words before we wrap this up, Drew Martin?
I'm all good, Pete.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks for your insights and inputs, Drew Martin. We'll be back on Thursday. Hopefully, I'll be back with a better record on Thursday.
Thank you, Pete.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.